Every family has secrets, but most families don't have fans all over the world who want to know all of them. The royal family has had its fair share of secrets over all their generations, and new details are coming to light all the time. The royal family's lives are open books for the world, and people can't seem to get enough of all of them. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we'll be taking a look at 3 interesting royal family secrets. Prince Philip is obsessed with aliens and UFOs. Prince Philip has been obsessed with aliens and UFOs for several decades. His interest began in 1955 when Lord Louis Mountbatten reported an experience one of his employees had with a spaceship at the Broadlands estate in Romsey, England. Fred Briggs, the employee in question, was in a daze when Lord Mountbatten saw him after the incident. He said he saw a flying saucer hovering just above the ground, and a man with overalls and a helmet came out. Briggs claims he was then knocked off of his bicycle and that an unseen force pinned him to the ground. He was sure no one would believe him. After all, he himself had never believed UFO stories before, which made this experience especially shocking. Prince Philip keeps track of UFO sightings on a map in Buckingham Palace. There is also a rumour that he has asked to see top-secret Ministry of Defence reports on UFO encounters. He has spent years collecting books on extraterrestrials. He spent the summer of 2019 reading a book called The Holt Experience, which tells the story of the Rendlesham Forest incident in 1980. This event is one of the most famous UFO sightings in Britain to date. In December 1980, several US Air Force personnel at RAF Woodbridge spotted lights in the forest. When they went to find out what it was, they saw a triangular-shaped spacecraft. They took radiation readings, which proved that something unique had been there. Radar staff had also spotted something that passed through their radar scope travelling at thousands of miles per hour. They said this object headed to the forest, where the Air Force personnel had seen the spacecraft. However, the government claimed the lights must have been from the Orfordness Lighthouse nearby. West Midlands detective John Hanson, who co-wrote the book, says it makes sense that Prince Philip would be interested in UFOs because he is such a sensible person. In his opinion, any sensible person should have this same interest because it is something that has baffled all of mankind for a millennium. Who is Harry's father? Princess Diana admitted that she had an affair with Major James Hewitt that lasted from 1986 to 1991. This affair occurred at the same time as Prince Charles was cheating on Diana with Camilla Parker Bowles, his current wife. Diana and James met at a courtier's cocktail party. She asked him to give her horseback riding lessons, and their relationship quickly progressed from there. Apparently, it was Diana who initiated the affair one day, telling him that he gave her strength and she hated not being with him. James often snuck into Kensington Palace since Diana and Charles had separate bedrooms. He soon became a regular guest whenever Charles left on trips. Even Diana's sons, William and Harry, grew very fond of James because he was there so often. Ken Worf, Diana's former protection officer, wrote a book called Diana, Closely Guarded Secret. In the book, Ken called James a womanizer who gave Diana the attention and affection she so badly desired. He said that Diana would sometimes meet James at a cottage that belonged to James's mother, and Ken could hear them together. James says that the two would simply have dinner and relax together, just enjoying each other's presence. Their relationship slowed down in 1989 when James was sent to Germany, even though Diana attempted to pull strings so he would not have to go. They rekindled their romance in 1990 before he was deployed to serve in the Gulf War. Diana could tell James was serious about their relationship from the way he spoke in his letters. She began to pull away from him and they finally split up for good in 1991. It has been said that James Hewitt might be Prince Harry's father ever since their affair became public, though James has denied this accusation. He believed that people were only spreading rumours because it would sell papers. Ken has also said in his book that this accusation is nonsense because the timeline does not add up. Diana and James did not meet until 2 years after Harry was born. People often like to point out that Harry has red hair like James, but Ken is quick to remind people in his book that Harry's red hair comes from Diana's side of the family. Prince Albert and Queen Victoria were first cousins. Princess Charlotte, the only legitimate grandchild of King George III, passed away in January 1820. This left no other heir to the throne. King George's unmarried sons frantically tried to find wives and have children so that they could provide the king a new heir. In 1818, Prince Edward, the fourth son of King George, married Princess Victoria of Saxe-Coburg-Saalfeld. Victoria, their future queen, was the only child they had together before Edward passed away in 1820. Victoria met her cousin, Prince Albert, on her 17th birthday in 1836, and they immediately fell in love. She wrote in her diary about how attractive she found him, even mentioning their physical similarities, such as their hair colour. Though their attraction was very evident, they did not meet again for 3 more years. In 1837, Victoria was crowned queen. She hated the idea of getting married, but this soon changed when Albert came to visit the English court in 1839. After 5 days, Victoria proposed to Albert and he accepted. Victoria's mother and Albert's father were sister and brother. Victoria and Albert were 3 months apart in age and were even delivered by the same midwife. Though they were first cousins, they got married in February 1840 in St James's Palace in London. Their marriage had been greatly encouraged by their uncle Leopold, who had helped prepare Albert to be Victoria's husband. Victoria once wrote a letter to Leopold thanking him for the great happiness he had given her through Albert. This type of marriage was not totally unusual for royal families. They did it to retain titles and to ensure other people would not be able to claim their family's power. Unfortunately, this intermarrying brought about significant health concerns for their family. Victoria carried the gene for haemophilia, a blood-clotting disease acquired from a gene from both of her parents. She passed this gene on to one of her sons and on to a few of her daughters. They then passed it on to some of their own children. Many of her descendants passed away very young because of problems related to this disease. Victoria and Albert had 9 children together and 42 grandchildren, though only 34 of them lived to become adults. Their descendants are found in royal families through Germany, Norway, Greece, Sweden, Russia, and Spain. For this reason, Victoria is often referred to as the grandmother of Europe. Victoria and Albert were married for 21 years. Albert passed away on December 14, 1861, at 42 years old. He passed away due to typhoid fever, though it is now thought to have been from stomach troubles. Victoria was never able to move on. She had relied on him for everything and did not handle him passing away very well. Albert's rooms in each of their houses were kept exactly as they had always been. She even made sure someone brought in hot water every morning and that the linen and towels were changed every day. She withdrew from the public and refused to go to social gatherings. It has even been said that she slept next to a picture of Albert every night after he passed. She wore black in mourning for the rest of her life, leading her to be called the Widow of Windsor. Queen Victoria passed away in 1901 and was laid to rest beside Prince Albert in the Royal Mausoleum, Frogmore, at Windsor Great Park. But what do you make of these royal family secrets? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section below and help us by growing this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.